Hello and welcome back to the channel. Now today we've got something a little bit different because I'm going to be talking to you about a brand new car from a brand new brand that's launching in the UK early next year. Intrigued? Well, this is the Ora Cat. It's a brand new electric car and I'm going to give you a full walk around tour of it. So in this video I'm going to be showing you the outside, the inside, talking to you a little bit about the batteries and how they're going to be sold in the UK. So if you've got any questions, then pop them in the comments box below, and if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. So this is it then, the Cat from Ora, and you might be thinking, what on earth is Ora? Well, that's a perfectly reasonable question because we've never had Ora here in the UK before. It's an all-electric brand launched by GWM, Great Wall Motor. You might have heard of Great Wall before. They launched in the UK about 10 years ago with something called the Steed pickup, but they're back with this, their all-electric car brand. Ora stands for open, reliable and alternative. And the brand actually has been created to celebrate, get this, an 18th century mathematician called Leonhard Euler. And now I'm quoting Great Wall's website here. It's been created because he was a mathematician and because maths is the foundation of human scientific and technological innovation, and it's the core and premise of car design is maths. So that's why they're celebrating this particular mathematician. And I don't know whether he'd be proud of this or not. I'm sure he would be, and have a car company named in his honour. I certainly would be. And the brand has this logo. It looks a bit like an exclamation mark. And the meaning behind that is it's saluting and greeting the great Leonhard. Leonhard Euler, we salute and greet you with this car. The Cat then looks pretty small, doesn't it? Well, it looks pretty small in the pictures, but in actual fact, this is quite a large car. Now, in terms of dimensions, this is roughly the same size as a Mini Clubman, okay? And in the UK, it'll be going up against cars like the Mini Electric, Fiat 500, in terms of sort of cuteness and character, but in terms of size, it's more like a VW ID3 rival. And in terms of style, I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments box below. I think this is quite an interesting looking car. It's sort of a cross between a bit of a VW Beetle, isn't it? A bit of Mini going on, isn't there? There's also a bit of Nissan Micra, I think. A bit of Suzuki Swift as well. It's quite an interesting look to it, hasn't it? So this is the key, and when you unlock it, you get this welcome sequence, and the same at the back. Okay, so you get these pretty nicely designed lights with an LED ring, a little bit Mini-esque, Mini Electric-esque, isn't it? Round the front. Nice and plain and simple. This car is a Chinese spec car, so you've got a Chinese style charging port, you've got a European spec one on the other side as well. But when this car comes to the UK, there'll just be a European spec charging port, probably on the curbside, although that's not been confirmed yet. These really rather natty 5-spec alloys. They remind me of something from a mid-90s Renault, in actual fact. And then round at the back, these are the lights. Okay, so the tailgate is completely unfussy. The Ora badging here as well. And it's got a really curvaceous look to it, hasn't it? Like I said, let me know what you think, to what it reminds you of. Right then, let's hop inside. It's on the inside where things get really, really impressive. And I mean that in terms of quality and technology. The quality part is the bit that's really blown my mind, because this is pretty much up there with a Mini Electric. Yes, really. Lots of nice soft touch plastics on the tops of the doors. Even the harder plastics aren't scratchy at all. You get this leatherette across the top of the dash with its exposed stitching. You get the cream sort of contrasting colour in this particular car. The seats are worthy of a mention. Not only are they incredibly comfortable, but you can also get massaging seats as well, and it's proper massaging seats, not quite up to the levels of a Mercedes S-Class, but better than a lot of cars costing twice this car's price. In terms of the design and the colouring, they remind me of a Rover 75 actually, with the fluting here, and I mean that in a very, very good way. I particularly like the Jaguar-esque sort of reaver hoop that goes around the top of the dash and underneath the windscreen, sort of envelops you a little bit. And you get this central vent design across the centre here, and sort of Mini-esque little toggle switches for the air conditioning and the ventilation. Now, every single Ora Cat in the UK is going to come with these two 10.25-inch screens. The one on the left, of course, is your digital cockpit. You're able to adjust it. And then here is your touch screen. It's Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatible as well. It works pretty nicely, looks pretty fresh as well. Moving downwards, you've got a couple of USB charging ports. There's a little storage area there, a couple of cup holders. The center console, you've got the of course you've got the gear selector here, wireless charging pad and a little cubby under there, and then another little cubby under there as well. Turning to the steering wheel, where you may have noticed there aren't many sort of physical controls on the dashboard. It's just the bare minimum along here. That's because the vast majority of the car's controls aren't controlled through the touchscreen, but from the steering wheel. So you've got all your media controls here, you've got the cruise control and the buttons to control the screen in front of you. But you've also got a little button here marked camera. No, the car doesn't take a photograph of you. What it does, it takes a photograph of the road in front of you. So, for instance, if you have a bit of a prang and you take a photograph of a car's number plate, the car in which you've been involved in an accident with, it can take a little photo. Talking of cameras, every single Ora Cat in the UK will come with a 360-degree parking camera. I mean, that's the level of technology which the likes of Volvo and Land Rover and Mercedes charge extra for, but Ora are going to throw it in free of charge for a £25,000 Super Mini. Amazing, isn't it? Also, talking about cameras, you may be wondering what this is here. It's a driver fatigue monitor, so that will monitor your face, and if you're showing signs of fatigue, it'll alert you. The last thing I want to mention is this car has keyless entry, but it also has keyless start. You don't even press a button. In a very Tesla Model 3 or VW ID3 kind of way, the way you start it is just by pressing your foot on the brake pedal. Okay, let's look at the interior space in the back. The doors open pretty much at 90 degrees. And there's a good amount of space in here. Now, I'm just over 5'11", and I had a couple of inches to spare before my head touched the roof. Good amounts of knee room, and that seat is pushed all the way back, so you can see there is a good amount of space there. Little bit of a load, little bit of a lip in the floor, but nothing too much to moan about. Isofix points in both seats. There's an armrest as well, which is all very nice, with a couple of cup holders. And the interior quality carries on back here as well. Again, everything feels incredibly well put together. It's such a surprise, is this? But this car is really, really impressive. Now, in terms of interior space, it's similar to a VW ID3, but you've got to remember that this car is going up against cars like the Mini Electric and the Fiat 500, and those two cars only come as a 3-door. This is a full 5-door. Just open up the boot, and the first thing you'll notice is the pretty unusual boot opening. I mean, it really cuts into the sides here, doesn't it? Now, in terms of space, It's a little bit more than the Mini Electric. Little parcel shelf here. The seats easily fold down from the back, so you don't have to go running around the side to fold them. You can just do so from here. It's a tiny little step there, but really, again, nothing to moan about at all. And yeah, there is a bit of a load lip. There isn't a movable boot floor, but it does mean that everything doesn't fall out when you open the boot. And under here, you've got space for your charging cables. Okay, so the Ora Cat that I've been looking at is sort of typical of the average Ora Cat they're going to be selling in the UK. This is going to be the GT model. And what makes a GT a GT? Well, the changes to it are all visual. There's no mechanical changes whatsoever. So you get these carbon fibre-esque wheel arch extensions. You get these different alloys with little red section and red brake calipers as well. The carbon fibre follows all the way along the sill. Then round at the back, you get a mock air diffuser trimmed in red. And then you also get this rear wing. Now, what do you think this rear wing reminds you of in terms of the lettering and the red inside? I think Great Wall have been taking a few design cues from the Mini GP, but hey, imitation is a form of flattery, isn't it? And I have to say, I think it looks absolutely brilliant, actually. And then round at the front, that carbon fibre is repeated, and you get a little red strip on the lip spoiler there. The interior gets a bit of a makeover as well. So you get GT on the headrests. They are trimmed in red and black. We get red seat belts, and the dashboard is also red and black as well. Okay, so what kind of range and batteries do you get for your money? Well, there's going to be two versions available. There's going to be a 48 kilowatt hour battery version, and there's going to be a 63 kilowatt hour battery version. The 48 kilowatt hour car does a range of 209 miles, and the 63 does a range of 261. Both are front wheel drive, and there's around 170 brake horsepower to play with. Now, in terms of charging, really unusual this. So a lot of cars in this part of the market, CCS is, well, rapid CCS charging is an optional extra. Renault Zoe, I'm looking at you here, but with the Ora Cat, everything is thrown in. So you get CCS charging as standard. You also get 3-phase 11 kilowatt AC charging and 6.6 kilowatt single phase charging as well. And this car can also be plugged into a rapid charger. It'll charge up to speeds of 80 kilowatts, which means an 80% top-up charge would take just 50 minutes on the 63 kilowatt hour car. It's even quicker on the smaller 48 kilowatt hour car as well. In terms of spec, there's going to be 3 models on offer, with the GT pack available on the mid-spec and top-spec cars. That's yet to be confirmed, but that is what's expected to happen. Prices are expected to start around £25,000, and even the top-spec car is going to come well under that £35,000 government threshold for the subsidy, probably going to top out at around £30,000. And it means that the Ora Cat, in actual fact, is in a really good position, because for this kind of money you're going to be getting around 260 miles for around £25,000 to £30,000. A Mini Electric with a much smaller range, around 140 miles, starts at £25,000, and the Renault Zoe, you have to pay extra for rapid charging, and those models start at £30,000. So there we are then. That is a very quick walk around what, in actual fact, it's quite an exciting new car. It's from a new brand. It's all electric, and it's going to be competing in a marketplace that is full of diverse models at the moment. Now, if they get the pricing right, which we think they are going to, with prices starting around £25,000. This could be very competitive indeed. Now, how are you going to buy one? Well, Ora think there's going to be around 25 to 30 dealers available from March next year. There's going to be a full website available as well, so if you want to find out a little bit more information, you can do so that way. But like I said, it's not going to be easy to beat the likes of Fiat, Mini, Renault, Honda in this part of the market, but this has got a few tricks up its sleeve in terms of value and the amount of spec that you get. It also looks pretty cool as well. Now, I'm going to be driving this car early next year, but in the meantime, if you've got any questions, then drop them below. Thanks for watching.